Hey folks, Josh Hager here with Bearded Bee Works. It is New Year's Day. We're going to get into the bees today and look and see what our food stores look like. We talked about this a little bit yesterday on our New Year's Eve post, but we're actually get in today and take a look at them. Part of these bees, they've got stored sugar syrup or honey in the comb, and part of these bees have sugar patty on top. So we'll take a look at both. The sugar patty, pretty easy to look at. Just pop the lid, take a look. We'll also try to get inside and look for brood. I've been doing some oxalic acid treatments under the assumption that I was pretty much broodless, but I need to get in and be certain that we are there, so I know how far to go with my treatments. If they have more brood than expected, which they could, with it being as warm as it's been this year, we'll need to do more treatments to catch that brood the mites as that brood emerges. And going back to the warm temperatures, that's the main reason we're checking our hives right now. Typically, 1st of January, you're not too concerned about food stores yet. February, March, in March a lot of bees starve to death. So typically, January, food stores are still good if you did your job right in fall or winter prep. But with these warm temperatures, bees actually use more stores, more resources when they're out flying around, because bees are workers. They want to go out and collect nectar and pollen. That's just what they do. So when it gets warm enough for them to fly, they go out looking, but there's just nothing for them to bring in. So they go out and burn up all this energy to bring in resources, but there's nothing out there for them to collect. So they're just burning through their stores. So we're going to get and take a look today. So I've got my son Remington with me here today. This is his first trip in the bee yard. We're going to take it slow and easy and try not to get these bees too worked up. It's nice and warm. It's like 72 degrees, but it's overcast and a little windy. So we're going to use plenty of smoke and take it slow and try not to get covered up in bees today. So we're going to get a smoker lit here, and we're going to get started. This military box for my smoker, which works great as far as keeping the heat contained and not worry about catching a truck on fire. It actually puts the smoker out as well, which is kind of the drawback. The smoker just gets a lot of creosote inside and out. I need to start putting a plug in here, and that way all the creosote is contained and not get covered on the outside of the smoker. So probably my favorite smoker fuel is pine needles, but you can't always get a hold of them. You can buy them through landscaping supply places. But something I always do have a supply of is pellets, like for a pellet grill. And that's what I've got right here. So that's what I'm using today to run my smoker. They're a little bit hard to get lit, but once you get them lit, they will burn for a long time. So I start with a paper towel, just something that's fairly flammable, and a few pellets in the bottom, and then I use a torch to start that. I just kind of roll the pellets around in there, and just try to get fire all around them. same spot's gonna be great. Yeah, it's a little windy today. Wind just blew the tripod over, so we'll get it set back up. Anyway, I try to get these things going pretty good with just a few pellets in there. Pretty windy today. The wind keeps trying to blow the tripod over, but anyway, I try to get those smoker, just a few pellets burning really good, and then I just add to it until I get what I need. It doesn't take very many to run you several hours. Matter of fact, I'll run on the same pellets, you know, 3 or 4 or 5, you know, 2-3 hour stints in the bees. Yeah, I think that's going to hold us now. Alright, Remington, why don't you take the smoker and go down through there and just put a few puffs of smoke in each hive. It takes a little bit for the smoke to actually be fully effective in calming the bees. Here, buddy, put it right down here. In the entrance there, all the way down through there. There you go. So it takes a few minutes for that smoke to be fully effective, so I like to kind of run ahead and get a little smoke on them, let them start consuming some honey, and then get them calmed down before you get in there, and then use smoke as you go. So this double deep right here, for the most part my double deeps are, they've got honey stores on them, and my singles, like the next one here, have a sugar board. And everybody has their own preference. Some people don't like the sugar board, some people love them. It's just another tool in the toolbox for me. So I'll use them when necessary. So I didn't check the weight of this box. You can tip these boxes. It's got some pretty good weight to it still. We'll get in here and see what we see. That frame's mostly empty. Got a little bit of syrup in that one. Got a little patch of honey and some syrup. There's a better part of a frame of honey. There's a good frame, solid frame of honey.
I can smell that honey on that one.
You smell that honey? Yeah, it smells good, don't it? Yeah, Remington has, he's seen a lot of the YouTube videos, or I guess all the YouTube videos we make, but this is his first time actually getting in the bees and getting to help us. So the whole family's going to get involved this spring, and I definitely welcome the help. So there's another full frame of honey. Same on the next frame and the next. So 1, 2, 3. They got 4 frames plus some partials. So we're looking at 40, 50 pounds of honey. Possibly be okay, you know, we'll watch them. And they probably got a little bit in the bottom, possibly. We're going to get down there and take a look for brood. That's a good thing about the double deeps. I have both. So in my winter prep, I just evaluate the bees, and I try to shove them down in the smallest box I possibly can. So if I can get them, if I can push the bees down into a single, I'll do that. But if not, I will keep them in a double deep. And typically, if they're strong enough for double deep, they got quite a bit of honey on them as well, versus the single. These things hadn't been opened in a little while. So, you know, just being 70, it's not super warm, so they're stuck together pretty good right now. Remington, when I pull that up, I want you to shoot some smoke right in there, okay? You ready?
Yep.
Give them a good puff. They're all happy. Yeah, these bees are pretty little irritable today. Yeah, that box is pretty good. Probably make them through the winter, but we'll just keep an eye on them and see. Okay, that's good.
They're making me jump when they hit my valve.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, there's more honey. A little bit of honey and some nectar there. They got a little bit in the bottom box as well.
That one has a lot of honey.
Yep, that's got some honey, a little bit of pollen. So yeah, this box is going to be just fine as far as food stores are concerned. Getting more towards the center of here in the brood nest and see what we have. Alright, so I got eggs in this frame here. No cat brood or larvae yet, but this is nearly a full frame of eggs right there. And that's the major concern with bees, with it being so warm, is the bees are starting to brood. And when they start to brood, they really burn through the food stores. I would suspect with that many eggs, we'll probably find some cat brood here somewhere.
Is it the cat brood, the white stuff?
That's probably the larva that you're talking about. I got a different bee suit on today, so I don't have my flashlight with me.
Does it glow or something?
Put a little smoke right in the middle of that frame. It's just easy smoke, easy smoke. That bee's got there's a little pollen on one of the bee's legs, so they're finding some kind of pollen somewhere. Yeah, I see some fresh pollen in the comb too, so they're coming up with some yellow pollen somewhere. Not really sure what it is though. What it would be this time of year.
There's a little bit of honey on that one.
Yeah, these bees have plenty of honey. There's more honey and some nectar in this comb here. Give them a little puff of smoke, buddy. Now they're getting a little stirred up there.
Yeah.
Give them a little more. Okay. So we're pretty much out of the brood nest, back in the food stores again, so that's all we're going to look at here. So we know at this point that we have a laying queen, or a potential laying queen. With the brood just being in an egg state and not capped yet, we can't tell if that's drone brood or worker brood. So it could potentially be a laying worker or a drone laying queen. But at this point, we know we got eggs in there. We know we got plenty of food. We're just gonna have to watch them with this brood production kicking off to make sure that they don't run out of food stores. Might even have to come in and hit them with a little pollen. You just have to be really careful, because once you start that, you can't stop. Once you start feeding, you can't stop feeding them, because they will definitely starve to death then. You good, buddy?
Yeah.
Hey, watch that against your bee suit, okay? This will burn your suit up. This box here is one of my original boxes that I started with. So about 10 years ago, I had my first bees, and it was an epic failure. Most people are concerned about getting their bees through winter. I couldn't even get my bees to winter. But you know, 10 years ago, we didn't have the resources we do now, just like these YouTube channels like mine, and even more so with folks like Cayman Reynolds and Bob Benny and Ian Stepler. Those guys, you know, have really cut down the learning curve to beekeeping. So I had my first hives about, well, probably just over 10 years ago. Like I said, that didn't last very long, and I guess this will be I'm going into my 4th or 5th year with my second try on bees, which is going a lot better. So I do use this Reflectix, or the foamy, and it does give a little bit of insulation factor, but I also run, I have a hole for a feeder jar. It'll fit a mason jar lid, or you can put you can put a half gallon or a quart size jar on there, or you can put a bucket on top. So I mainly use that for a moisture barrier to keep it from leaking, but it does give them a little insulative quality as well. Alright, so this hive here has a sugar block on it, and I talk about that a little bit in the video. I'll try to put the recipe in this as well. This is a good emergency food if you have, if you're worried about the amount of food you have on your bees. It's basically granulated sugar, apple cider vinegar, and citric acid. You can add like Honeybee Healthy or something like that as a encourage them to eat that, but I'm pretty cautious with that stuff because of robbing, and the bees don't need it. They can surmit just fine without it. So you can see right here, there's some moisture on top of this where that lid is not completely propolised in, and so that's, like I said, oh man, yeah, look at this.
They're all over that.
This sugar patty was completely full to the top of this, and they have consumed a large amount of it. So looks like we're going to be putting on some other sugar patties. We'll see what we got inside here, but so the way these are made, they had a 1/2-inch hardware cloth on the bottom. That way you can remove them just like this to do an inspection. A little bit of that sugar does get lost out of the bottom of the hive. If it's granulated and not solid, they'll kick it out of the hive. So if a corner or part of it doesn't set up well, they will kick some out. But they right too close to the smoke.
Yeah.
And the beehives will make you sneeze sometimes too. So that frame's got a little bit of honey on it. These bees had some food on them, just not what they needed for the winter. And if it was any question at all, I added a patty to them. Kind of a small cluster here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 7 frames of bees, so that's not too bad. Again, we're seeing some pollen. We saw a lot of pollen going in on the entrance there. There's some pollen in the comb, eggs, and also some younger larvae, just a few day old larvae in here.
Where?
So you see the eggs in there?
Yeah.
Can you see those? You have to get the angle just right.
Yeah.
And you see the wet spots inside in the other cells?
Yeah.
That's young larvae.
Oh.
So we got some fresh pollen. Like I said, I don't know what it is. Some eggs and some young larvae. Get our smoker, bud. Give me a little puff of smoke. Now we got some older larvae here. Just a few days from capping. Actually, there's a little bit of cap larvae or cap brood in there. Oh yeah, there's quite a bit of cap brood right there.
There.
It's an ant. More eggs. Yeah, these things are really getting with it. I don't know where this pollen's coming from. I'd like to know.
Might make the honey
Oh,
taster.
there's our queen right there. Look at there, buddy. See her?
Oh, yep.
See how big her abdomen is?
Yeah.
Let me take her over here and show y'all. There's our queen right there. So you got some cap brood, you got eggs and larvae around it. Yeah, she's a pretty good sized queen. I mean, she's getting with it.
You can tell she's a lot bigger than the other ones.
Yeah. She's, queens really shrink down this time of year, but she's pretty large. See how she's on the side of the frame right there? We got to be very careful.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to be very careful when she's on the side of the frame like that.
You don't want to crunch her?
We don't want to smush her. So we let her crawl back inside. Be very gentle with her. Yeah. If this momentum continues, then these bees are going to be massive for the honey flow. We're going to have to be very careful and watch for swarming. I'm not really sure. If these things get a big bump now and we're not careful, we're going to have hives busting at the seams, and then if it cools off again, we're not going to be able to produce queens for splits until later in the year. So this is just a weird year. We got a lot of brood in this hive right here.
Can I do one?
Yeah, you want to pop one out?
I got mine.
Okay. So you just want to pry on each side. Just real easy. You don't want to be jerky. There you go, real easy. Okay, and do the other side.
There you go.
Alright. Now set your hive tool down and just reach in and get one. Let me give you a little smoke. Let the smoke go.
It's right here.
Alright, reach in and get corner. Each corner. There you go. And slowly lift it straight up. There, oh, easy. See how you kind of turned it and raked it? You don't want to rake them against the other. Okay. Now once you do that, let me help you. Grasp it like this now.
Okay.
So you can look at it. You Got it? Don't drop it. If you drop it, then bees are going to go everywhere. What do you think? Now look inside there and see. Tell me what you see in that hive, in that comb.
Honey.
Okay. Tip it up a little more so you can actually see down in there. You see anything else?
Larva?
You see larva? You sure?
No, I see honey. What's it?
You just see honey? Look on the other side. Turn it over.
Is it cap? No, they're grabbing it.
That's capped honey. There's more pollen that they're bringing in.
They're drinking something.
See that right there? Got some hive beetles crawling around. So
they're sucking something.
I don't know how true it is, but I've been told that if your hive beetle, hive beetles are just a normal.
I got a stunner stuck in my hand.
Yeah, hive beetles are just a normal part of a beehive. They have to be kept in check. But you don't want them to slime a hive. But a healthy hive is going to have hive beetles. If you have a hive that the hive beetles are dying off in the winter, I've been told that is not a good sign, that the hive is not healthy if the beetles are dying in the hive. And I do have one small hive that I probably should have combined up or put on top of double springboard that I didn't. I thought they were stronger than what they were, but I got into them the other day. They're pretty weak, and I found some dead hive beetles on top of the frame. So we'll see what happens with that hive.
They sound like a vacuum cleaner of a fan just walking around.
So the nectar that's in here, these bees are converting that out of this sugar patty. So they'll take the sugar, put it in a comb, and combine it up with water. No shortage of water. It's been wet and fairly warm, so they'll be able to fly, collect plenty of water. They'll combine that up and make nectar out of it right there in the hive. All right, let me get this pad here, bud. So they've got some food stores in the hive and the comb, a little bit left here. But they're going to need a little bit, especially the way they're brooding up right now. You want to make sure and get all your bees off of the inner cover, because they can't get out of there once you put it on there with this Reflectix on there. Looks like there was one there that might have got trapped.
Can I take the top off of this one?
Yep, so same thing, you want to be very easy and slow.
What do you use this one?
Use this end and kind of hold pressure down while you're prying, so they don't pop up real and make a lot of noise and get the bees stirred up. Okay, raise her up. Get a hold of it good so you don't drop it. Don't dump that water in the hive. Alright. Let me see.
It's dumping on my boot.
Yeah.
I thought that was sugar water in there.
Man, that whole underneath that thing is full of water. Like I said, I like to use that Reflectix to keep the moisture out of the hive. Not necessarily good for equipment, but keeps moisture out of the hive. One thing you always want to do is check the inner cover for your queen.
Okay.
So this was basically our inner cover, this Reflectix. So
I don't see it.
no queen there. Shake that off. This stuff has its use for sure, this Reflectix or double bubble, whatever people call it, but bees really don't care for it, man. It makes a lot of racket, a lot of noise and vibration, sends all kinds of vibrations through the hive that the bees just don't care for. It's like a pretty good bunch of bees. Again, they've worked on the sugar board pretty good. More sugar there than the previous. We're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's a little smaller. 4 to 5 seams of bees right now.
There's a bunch of smash bees in there.
Yeah, they get trapped between the sugar board and the top of the frame sometimes. A little bit of honey on that one.
There's no honey on those?
There's more nectar and honey.
What happened here?
It's just where the comb didn't get filled out all the way. They may fill it out next spring, or they may not fill it out at all. Sometimes they steal the wax off of frames and then they don't want to build on them. Alright, so we're back. We're in the brood nest. There goes our queen right there.
Where?
See her right there?
Yep.
Y'all see her? There. She goes right down the side.
Why does she like to climb on the side though?
She just tries to hide. She is the master of hide and seek sometimes.
The bee seek her. She hides.
Hides from the beekeeper. And we don't really need to find a queen. She'll be right there, but when you really need to find her to make a split or whatever you need to do,
she's hard to find.
She's nowhere to be found. So quite a bit of eggs in on that frame.
Can I do another one after this one?
Mm-hmm. There's some cat brood.
Right there? What?
That almost looks like drone brood there.
How can you tell the difference?
See how it's kind of raised up a little bit?
Yeah, like bubbly?
Yeah, it's bubbled up a little bit. Not like I would expect to see, but more than you would. But if you look at the bigger larvae, they look okay. So it may just be because it's scattered cappings that makes it look like that. But she could be a drone layer.
Like that. What are they doing?
So when you smoke them, they think there's a natural instinct they have. When they smell smoke, they think it's of a fire, and they gorge themselves on honey. They eat lots of honey. And whenever you eat way too much, what do you want to do?
Stop eating?
Well, I want to go take a nap. So the bees get really tired and lethargic when they eat too much. So you see that sugar falling out of the comb right there?
Yeah.
They'll actually pack some of that sugar in the comb.
I'll do this one.
You do the next one. So we got about 4 frames of bees, 1 really good frame of brood or eggs. When you pry on, pry on this side of this little notch here,
okay,
so you don't break that end off. There you go. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not a lot on this one.
No, just a few bees.
Mm-hmm.
So we're at the end of the brood nest there. We'll put this one back together and check another. We're not going to check every hive. We're going to feel for weight on the double deeps that don't have a sugar board, and we're going to check the sugar boards on the ones that do, and then we'll
I got water on my foot.
Yeah, we'll know what to do from there. All right, hand me that Reflectix right there. Oh, I gotta put this on first. Run all them. See, the smoke runs the bees down, so we don't smush them when we put everything back together. So they got 5 pounds of sugar there on them still. These things probably hold 10 or 12. I got some different height shims, but these will probably hold 8, 10, 12 pounds, something like that. They probably got 4 or 5 back on them. That thing's super heavy from trapping water.
Feels really heavy.
Alright, so just lift that lid off there, bud. We'll see what we got. Keep tilting. Just lean it up against the side, let the water run out. So you can see the bees have, see the bees have ate out this front part of the sugar, but there's still quite a bit in the back. You got to be careful with these too, because they'll eat them from the bottom and they can be hollow. So you may look in there and be like, man, that thing's completely full. They ain't even touched it. But if you hit it with your hive tool, it may just be a thin layer and may not be much left in there. So you got to watch for that. All right, buddy, you want to put that back together?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Gonna fill this one. Oh yeah, that one's nice and heavy. Yeah, it'll be fine. Plenty of sugar left there. It's got all kinds of water in it.
Oh, it's all under that reflective. Crazy.
Some of these I put the reflectix on the same time that I pulled my feeders and put these caps in. These are just mason jar lids. So that didn't give the bees a chance to propolize these things and seal them up. They'll typically seal them up by themselves. So I probably should have gave them a week or so to propolize these caps in before I put my reflectix on, and that would have kept this water from getting underneath the migratory lid, between the migratory lid and the reflectix. So, but it's like I said, getting a little moisture on the lid, which is not great. It'll cause them to decay quicker, but they'll get dried out soon enough.
There's the sun.
Same thing, just gonna check for weight here and see what we got. Ooh, that one's a little light. Get inside there and see what we got.
Okay.
You wanna fill it? Just pick up on the back. Real easy.
Oh yeah, that's not heavy at all.
Quite a bit lighter than the other one. Yeah, you can hear that noise there. The bees don't particularly care for that noise, or probably the vibration more than noise. Hold this. I see a frame of honey or two here. All right, but when I pop this box up, I want you to smoke in between them, okay?
Okay.
I'm just gonna pick this box up by itself and see what it weighs.
Probably not a lot. Or
All right, smoke. All the way down through here. There you go. Okay, that's good. It's heavier than what I thought.
and
That
then
box weighs 30-40 pounds.
this one's probably
That's got about 3-4 frames of bees up top and 5 or 6 frames of bees down below. Brood nests sometimes bees get lopsided. They don't use dead center of the box. So these bees are on this side of the box.
down there.
You got a little honey there.
Just a little bit.
Maybe a half a frame, or just a little under half a frame there. Give me some smoke. Alright.
That one has a little honey. Not much.
Yeah, a little bit of honey and nectar. Which, there's a few things starting to bloom. I saw some purple pollen in one, probably henbit. I've seen a little bit of henbit blooming. Again, some more pollen on the legs of bees and some fresh pollen in the comb. Haven't seen any brood yet, though. until they're an older larva. Really surprised I'm not seeing any brood so far. I might have skipped over it, might have been talking too much, or could be in the top box. Wouldn't expect it to, but it could be. Go back to this frame here. Not much going on down here in the bottom box, just a little bit of honey.
Is this a frame?
Mm-hmm.
Is this different than all the other ones?
It's a wooden one. Most of them are plastic. See, this is wooden too.
Oh, yeah. There's a ladybug in that one.
Yep.
He's still alive.
I'll get in this top box, see if we got any brood up there.
This one's really heavy.
Is it? That's good. That's what we want.
What's this?
I reversed that. That's an internal feeder.
What are the strings for on it?
That's just to keep it from spreading open. So we always want to remove a frame away from the bees. We don't really want to pull a frame right in the middle of the brood nest because we might smush bees. So once we remove one over here, we can scoot these frames over.
Give us more room.
Give us more room. Yeah, there's a frame of
That bee's trying to get in my soup.
a couple frames of honey. Yes. Oh, nope, there's our eggs up top. So the queen is laying up top.
Yeah.
Yep, there's some little bit of cat brood, some open brood,
Honey.
eggs.
Is that the honey right there?
Yep, that's honey and nectar. Or probably just honey and uncapped honey at this point. See if we got any more brood over here. Yep, more eggs.
Okay.
Yeah, you see the queen anywhere?
She likes to hide on the side.
I don't see her. She could be anywhere. Alright, that's all we need to do in there.
Yeah, we're checking this one.
Let's see how heavy it is. So these bees are a little light, but they got food for now. These bees right here will probably need some food before it's over with.
Let's feel this one. It's really heavy.
Yeah, that is a nice heavy one. So that one's going to be just fine. We're not going to open that one. Let's see how heavy this one is.
Heavy?
A little lighter, but probably okay. Let's take a peek inside and see what we got.
They're spilling water everywhere.
Yes. See several bees and some frames of honey. So those bees are going to be okay for right now.
Not very heavy.
Yeah, these probably won't be too awful heavy, but we need to check the sugar patty. See, it's got a shim on there. Check the sugar patty.
A what?
See the feeder shim right here where the sugar's at?
Yeah. Whoa. They have quite a bit of sugar patty left.
Yep, they got plenty of sugar patty left on them, so they're in good shape.
Yeah, that one's way too heavy for me.
Alright, so this one here we got is a little bit different. So you'll notice we got two boxes. We got this piece here and another box. So we've got a stronger double deep here. Then we've got a double screen board. And then we've got a double nuke. There's a little yellow jacket trying to get in the hive. So what I did, I've split this tin frame right down the middle with a piece of Luan, just a thin piece of plywood. And I've split this double screen board down the middle, which you'll see in a second. And so I've got a double nuke on a screen board over a stronger hive.
I'm pretty sure I've really painted this box.
Yeah, I think Everly did paint this. You'll see my notes on here. At some point I was questioning the queen in this box. This is blue, so that's old data. I use the marking pen for that year to make notes, so I know that if I see a note here in blue, that's an old note. If it was in white, it would have been from last year.
They're running out.
Oh yeah, they're running out quick.
There's so many bees.
So this side over here, let me raise that up so you can see that. This side over here doesn't have much at all left in it. Like I said, these were completely full, just a little piece here. And you can see what I'm talking about, how they're hollow. See how that was hollow in places? You got to watch for that too. We'll get in here and see how these bees look.
You put like a little piece of plywood right here. Random.
So these may need food sooner than later. This side over here anyway.
What happened?
I got a little strip there to keep the bees separated so they can't cross over. On these double screen board setups, you don't want your queen to cross over because you'll end up with, let me see your hive tool. You end up with two queens in one hive, which one will, they'll pretty much fight to the death, and then the other one will be queenless. So make sure and keep one side covered when you're working in these double.
Why did you name my hive tool?
So the wind didn't blow that off there.
Quite a bit of honey on the other side.
So that's got some honey in it. Probably some nectar or some sugar syrup that they made from the sugar patty.
There's a little more honey on the opposite side.
Quite a bit of honey here. Some fresh pollen that they brought in. It's just crazy that we're talking about fresh pollen the 1st of January. This has just been a really weird year.
Is this just that sugar patty?
Mm-hmm. That's why as a beekeeper, you just have to keep an eye on your bees and be adaptable. Because things aren't the same from year to year. Good patch of brood here. Open brood. Eggs. See them in there?
There's honey.
Yeah, there's honey. All this right here is open brood and eggs. More eggs and open brood. Our queen is probably up there. She's right there. There's our queen right there.
Where? Oh, yep, right there.
Yep.
It fell in the box. Did you hit it with the frame?
No, the wind blew it off. Alright, so we got a laying queen in there. Let me find her again so I don't smush her.
I think she might have went onto a different frame.
Did she? She could have. Let's be real careful putting this back in there. Oh, there she is right there again. There she goes right there.
Oh yeah, cotton on sides.
Mm-hmm.
Can you scare her back?
Yeah, you can kind of guide her, but she went up there by herself. So they've got some stores. This side's got some sugar left on top, and starting to brood up. We're going to keep an eye on these bees. Like I said, we potentially may come back with some pollen patty. I don't know. I hate to fire them up too early, but I don't want them to.
This one's really light.
I don't want to lose any brood either. So this side's got a lot of bees in it. That's why they burn through so much food. I would suspect that they were probably brooding pretty heavy as well. Smoky out over there?
Yeah. It's getting to me. Hold down on this button. Let's try and blow it off. There you go.
of bees there, and you don't want to move any faster than the bees can move, so you don't smush it. Again, some nectar, fresh pollen, some bee bread from last year.
Bread?
Yeah, they take the pollen, combine it with the honey, and they ferment it, make it into bee bread, which...
This one has some pollen right here on the back leg.
Uh-huh. It's like long-term storage for the pollen.
He's just sticking his abdomen out of the hive. I can just see that.
Yeah.
That place.
Yeah, this little nuke is going to blow up come spring.
We're going to get a lot of honey from this hive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this nuke will probably make us some honey this year. As strong as they are. More honey. No brood yet. While they're running out of sugar patty,
What happened?
they still have
That bee flipped over and couldn't get up.
they still have a lot of honey and nectar in the frame. Here's brood. See if we can find our queen. Makes it a lot easier when the bee numbers are down for the winter to find your queen. You don't have to look through so many bees. Might be on the next frame.
We're flipping bees over and they can't get up.
Yeah, their wings are sticking to that wet stuff. Yep. Another patch of eggs. There's the queen right there.
Where? A queen of the
You
different
can see
hive?
her from that far away. That's the queen of this. Yeah, there's two hives here.
You... There's bees all over my bed.
Is there?
Yeah.
Let me see.
There's one that just won't stop bothering me. He's still after me.
Yeah, they get a little irritated. Alright, so I'll pop this box off here and show you all. Actually, I'm just going to lift it from the front. I'm going to leave the double screen board on there so I don't have to worry about my queens getting mixed up.
You want me to smoke it when you lift it
Yep,
up?
come over here and smoke. Smoke right here. Okay.
This side's calm.
Alright, let's see what this one feels like. That one's fairly heavy. Let's see what we got up here. Not a ton up top, it doesn't look like. Must be in the bottom. Oh, there's our queen right off the bat.
Where?
Right there. Still pretty small. Few eggs. Getting pretty windy today. I get pretty nervous. Okay, bud, so this has got the queen on it. We don't want to set this one down, so we're going to pop another one out. We don't want to set our queen on the ground.
Wait, what?
We don't want to set our queen on the ground, set the frame on the ground. So there she is in the middle of the frame. Get her back in there. Quite a bit of honey here. And more brood. But pretty much the
That bee's feeding on some honey. Right
yep, rim of honey and pretty good patch of brood, even cat brood right there.
there. Yeah, I saw some honey.
So based on this cat brood, I get these bees with oxalic acid. The first treatment,
Oh, this one's full of honey.
honey there, more brood.
Look on the other side.
Yep,
This one will give us some honey.
more brood there.
Oh, the other one's full of honey.
Yep. So these bees are looking good. That's all we're going to go in there. But anyway, what I was saying about the oxalic acid,
I can smell it.
I've hit these bees twice now. So I hit them, I think I hit them just before Christmas. So I should have caught everything before it had cat brood in it. So we all be in pretty good shape. I am going to hit them one more time. That'll be the third time. I'd like to do it right now, but it's a little too warm. You can see how the bees are flying. It would probably be fine, but I'd prefer to do it with the bees in the hive. The other trick you can do, if it's too warm outside and you want to do it with all the bees in the hive, if it's too warm and the bees are flying like today, you can wait until like tonight. I might do it tonight if the weather holds out. It may rain. So if it's not raining tonight, I'll probably come out here and hit these with oxalic acid after dark, and that way I know all the bees are in the hive, and to miss any bees, get them all treated. Alright, let's put this one back together.
I can tell that you put the oxalic acid on this because I can tell how it smells.
I don't think you can smell it now.
I could, but...
Alright, so we're just going to keep going through these hives, doing what we're doing now. Checking weights on the double deeps, checking food boards, sugar boards on the singles, and we're see where we're at and get us a good idea whether we need to add some food or how much brood production we got. Do we need to think about pollen patties? All something to think about. We really appreciate y'all watching. Please hit that subscribe, like button, drop us a comment and tell us what you think about our videos, and please share our videos as well. Like I said in my previous video, we're going to do our best to put out some good quality videos this year that are very informative and try to help everyone that we can become the best beekeeper they can be. So thanks for watching. Like I said, hit that subscribe button and we'll see you next time.